Okay, this is where we left off last time. Step 5. The I plus plus is going to step through the symbols. And each time it chooses another symbol, the K will step through the time frames, just like it's doing. Week, day, 240. It's doing it far faster than I can speak. And each time it creates the button, the ATR, tear dot, buy button, sell button, indicator direction for the day, week, and it steps through them all. Everything is uniquely named. If you put your little mouse over it, AUD CAD 240 Gator. And that's because sometimes it will be a symbol, underscore line, an arrow or something. You need to keep things uniquely named. That way you'll understand AUD CAD 240 ATR. What we want to do in Bill Williams' system, it's a pretty expansive system. There's a whole lot of angles to it. One of the things he has is two things we want to concentrate on today are on zone and divergence. Zone, to him, zone is defined at least partially by the accelerator oscillator and the awesome oscillator. To be in the buy zone, which I believe you will be more aggressive, is his term, both have to be green, or in our case aqua. So here we're in the green zone, here we're in the green zone or buy zone, here we're in the green zone, here we're in the green zone. If they're not the same color, which in the case here, one's aqua, one's magenta, then we're in a gray zone, we're in an unknown zone. If both are red, we're in a sell zone. So we would be in a sell zone right here. And that doesn't mean you rush out there and sell. It just, there's some other conditions. It's just trying to get you into the zone. Red, you'd be interested in selling. See, all the way through here. Now all of a sudden you get to a spot where they disagree. You're in a gray zone. And you don't know what's going to happen. If there's ever a time you know what's going to happen. Which it probably isn't. And the other thing, that's the zones. And the other thing will be divergent bars. According to him, best I can make out, a bullish divergent bar, you could think about pin bars. If a pin bar develops above the alligator indicator, it is, in his thinking, a bearish divergent bar. If it develops below the alligator, it's a bullish divergent bar. And we've all heard about pin bars. Here is an example right here. We must have a lower low. So this low is less than that low. And the price must finish in the top 50 to 25%, somewhere around there, in the top part of the bar. I'm going to use 25%. I think maybe his is 50% or something. But this would be a perfect example of a bullish divergent bar. A bearish divergent bar would be something similar to this. We're above the alligator lines, all of them. And we had a higher high. And the price, even though it closed higher, it ended in the lower 25% of the bar. That would be an example. And like I said, it's similar to a pin bar. And there's some other candlestick formations that it's similar to. And that's all we're going to focus on this time. Let's see. Okay, and let's look at the code. Code's going to be quite simple. Well, no, the code is not really quite simple. It's probably going to be maybe the most complicated, that we've done so far because of one thing and one thing only. Okay, zone color. What we're going to do is, let me go back here. Where was that at? What we're going to do is, we're going to place underscores under each letter. So the underscore under the word G will be bar 1. Underscore under A will be bar 2, and bar 3, bar 4, bar 5. So if both of the indicators, awesome and accelerator, are red going down, the underscore will be red. If both are green, the underscore will be green. If one is red and the other is green, then the underscore will be black and you won't be able to see it. So it'll just be underscores across here. That way you can visualize that in case of here, EURGPP, we have an ALMA cell. We know that because we can't see the words. It's conditional text. That was in one of the first videos. And, oh, I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, you'll see that the accelerator and the awesome oscillator should be red. And you pretty much learn that from the way you learn about how indicators mimic each other. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the divergent bar. Divergent bar, let's use a wingding for that. Wingding for a positive bullish divergent bar, let's make as a lime arrow pointing up at 45 degrees. So in other words, it's like it's saying we're not going up, but we're thinking about going up. We're halfway to going up. So it'd be an angle, upward angle, 45 degree lime bar. If it's a bearish, it'll be a downward 45 degree red bar, red angle. And if there is no divergent bar, you won't see anything. And divergent bars are somewhat rare. Okay, here's the code. And this part here, zone color, that's going to be the color for the underscores. You'll see in a second. All this is saying is we need a symbol, like always. We need a time frame, like always. But here we needed a shift, because if you remember, we wanted to look at the last bar, the one prior, and the one prior. So we're going to want to make an underscore here. It would be lime on our chart over there. This one would be, this one would be lime. This one would be lime, like that. So we need to look. Shift 1, Shift 2, Shift 3, Shift 4, Shift 5. And that way we know what bar we're looking at. So let's just use Shift 1 for this example. So if the awesome oscillator for bar 1 is greater than the oscillator for bar 1 plus 1, which would be 2, and in this case, you know it would be going up. If it's greater than, it's going up. And the accelerator for bar 1 is greater than the accelerator for bar 2, 1 plus 1. It's going up. If both of those conditions are true, the color is lime. That's what we just looked at. If the opposite of that, if both of them are going down, then the color is red. If neither of those, if one is lime and say one is, one is one color, like here, this one's red and that one's aqua, then the color will be black. By default, color is black. Return color. That's easy. And here is the code for that. Display, our symbol, our time frame, zone 1, that is just so we can remember, we can put our mouse over it and we know that's bar 1 in case we forget. Here's the text, the little underscore, and this is nothing more than the same thing we've been doing all along. This is the way it steps over and down. And zone color is what we just looked at. If both are going up, it's lime. If both are going down, it's red. If they're not both doing the same, then it's black. So it's just going to draw this, and it's going to color it one way or the other. That's our 5 bars. We just looked back 5. We could look back 10 if we wanted, but we could look back 1, but let's just look back 5. Now, this is going to be the most difficult thing probably, because it uses, this is a divergent bar, because it uses a little bit of math. And sometimes math can be confusing in MetaTrader. Remember, for the first line here will be for a bullish divergent bar. Remember, the price must be below the alligator. So the close, right here, the close symbol, time frame 1, it must be below the jaw, it must be below the teeth, and it must be below the lips. And we're only going to look at one, we're only going to look at the last bar. This is not going to be like the underscores where we look at a bunch. And remember, the low of that bar must be lower than the previous bar. It has to be lower than the previous bar. And here's where you have to kind of do a little bit of thinking. The close, all this is really saying, the close is greater than 25% of that bar. That's all this is saying. It took the high minus the low, which would be the full range, multiplied it times 25.25, and it subtracted that from the high. So in other words, the close must be greater than 25% of the daily range. If all those conditions are true, then the wingding is 236. You should have Googled wingdings. You know what that is. That's the angled arrow. And it says return wing. Now, if the opposite of that is true, it would be a bearish divergent bar. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's, you know, pretty much there. That chooses the arrow wings. It chooses the arrow. Now we need a color for the arrow. If, and all this says, if the wings, which is the wingding number, if it equals 236, then the color is lime because it's going up. If it equals 238, then the color is red. It's going down. It's return color. So let's go to that. And I went over that fast because there's no point in spending 30 minutes talking about it. It's something you just have to look at. It is for sure going to be a little bit more complicated than what we have done in the past. Okay, so we're stepping through. You can see on the EUR-USD, even though we have a alligator that's going down, the awesome oscillator and accelerator have been going up, and the ALMA evidently is going up. Like I said before, some of this is common sense. You'll begin to relate. If the ALMA is going up, you pretty much know, not all the time, but you pretty much know that both of those other two indicators are going up. If the ALMA, see here, the ALMA is going down, you pretty much know that these other two are going down. So the more you look at charts, really the fewer indicators you need, you'll be able to visualize what the others are doing. Where is it? EUR-GBP. We have a new ALMA sell, and sure enough, zone 1, both are red. If you slide over, you can, slide over. Zone 2 is red. So here lately, in the last 5 bars, both have turned and started going down. And that would coincide with an ALMA sell. You will learn that. Where are we at here? Okay, this is an important one. Here, the bars are, there's no color to the gator. So in other words, it's not going down, it's not going up, it's indecisive. That is where Bill Williams gets interested. Not only is it indecisive, we now have a negative divergent bar. Let's look at that one. Well, that's why I had it pulled up. See here, the lines are not, they're not, they're not properly aligned like they're properly aligned here, but they're not properly aligned here. And our price, this would be our divergent bar. We had a higher high, we were above all the lines, and our price ended in the lower 25% negative divergent bar. And that is what this returned, wherever the heck it was. Got too many charts open now. This is, okay. Here, let's see. Here, the gator is intertwining. We have an alma cell, but we do not have a divergent bar. This is 60-minute and 30-minute, there's less impact on these things, on these smaller ones. Here we have a bullish divergent bar, and the lines are intertwining. Like I said, these here, for a trend trader, you're not really interested in that too very much. You're interested in 240 a day and a week. 240 can hurt you. If things swung against you, just say, for instance, you were short. Well, I am short. Let's say EURAUD. Right now, I'm short. 0.6 of a mini lot. Right now, I have a alma. The alma's going up. Well, the average range is 38 pips on the 30. So, I mean, I stand to lose 38 pips every 4 hours on average. So, I mean, these time frames can hurt you. I mean, you can't disregard those hardly if you're a trend trader. These here, you can wade that out. Don Warden of TC2000 one time said that they did not like to hold through waves. So in other words, if the price was going up on the weekly chart and he was trading the weekly and it was going up and up and up and up, no chance of stopping, up and up and up. There will be the occasional retrace on the daily. His view was he did not like to hold through that daily retrace because you can, it could hurt you. 103 pips at the size trades he makes. There's no telling what size trades he makes. That can hurt you. So they did not like to hold through retraces. But he wasn't talking about, I don't think, 15-minute retrace. These time frames can hurt you. These you need to pay attention to. These here are not going to hurt you unless you're over leveraging your account. Let's see. Is that about it? Divergence. I'll post this code on any vid site, earnforex.com. It'll be in the indicator section under dashboards. And I think next time we might start, I don't know what we do next time, to be honest with you. I'll see if I can read up some more of the system. I'm just kind of bit and piecing it together from what I can see. So I got no clue as to what I was going to do next time. But that ought to handle it. Until next time.